Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, everybody. Like my star, thank you for watching this morning. I appreciate you a lot. Okay. Happy Thursday. Hey, Miss Dolores. Hey, Lolita. Hello there. Hey, Deja. Hey, Evangelist. Hey, Teresa. Hello there. Guys, this morning it's not starting out right. I woke up with a pimple on my daggone face. Okay. Had my husband rush to the Target, get me a little sticker star pimple thing. It's just not starting out right. Today is just not starting off right. I haven't had a pimple in so long. Alrighty. Today is another day of Diddy. Done did it. Diddy done. Diddy do it. Diddy done. Yeah. Okay. So Diddy is definitely done. Okay. I can say that wholeheartedly right now that Diddy is done, guys. The things that are coming out in this trial in this latter days in the last week or so definitely fits a RICO. Okay, it's all about how they're going to go about it. The defense has continued to do a great job at pulling out the inconsistencies of the witnesses that have been on the stand, but it's fair to say that Diddy is possibly done for sure. At first, it was a little bit questionable because they was taking time to kind of build the case and lay everything out in a very strategic, slow manner. But they have now, since we're pushing towards the time for the defense and their witnesses and things of that nature, and the redirect is really starting to shape the enterprise. It's starting to shape the um the RICO and the coercion and the trafficking and all these different things. It is starting to shape it, but we still have to be patient with this prosecution. But it's fair at this point. But yesterday they had a really strong witness from the prosecution. Bryana Bongolan is her name, or Bongolan is her name, y'all. And she actually was a personal friend of Cassie Ventura. And her testimony yesterday actually allowed us to see the violent behavior of Diddy. But we've seen it from everyone on the stand saying, I seen how Cassie responded, or, I seen him do this to Cassie, or I witnessed Cassie tell someone this, or, we heard those type of things. But now what have happened within the last couple of days and the last couple of witnesses is they have brought direct victims to the stand. And this woman is a direct victim of Sean Diddy Combs. So she is the personal friend of Cassie Ventura. And their relationship and friendship had begun in 2014 to 2015 while they were working together at the Diamond Supply Company. So over the time, they had begun to develop a very deeply intertwined relationship that was centered around drug use, marijuana, cocaine, ketamine, GHB, and acid. So this friend did admit to selling Ventura some drugs and calling their substances some form of a serious form of destruction for them both. What's the star sticker on your lip? It's for a pimple. You had this. Who are you, Miss? Oh, you just got here, Mrs. So. Hey, it's a pimple sticker. So in January of 2024, this woman had hired an attorney, Mr. Tyrone Blackburn. And if you guys don't know, Tyrone Blackburn has actually been one of the early on attorneys before Tony Busby began to partake in the victims of Diddy. Okay, it was Tyrone Blackburn. He actually was the attorney for the producer as well. So she had hired Tyrone Blackburn to send a settlement demand to Combs in regards to a 2016 incident in which she says that Combs had physically assaulted her on a balcony. So she had later fired Blackburn after she says that she had discovered that the attorney had some errors in his paperwork, including false claims about Diddy and things that Diddy had said during this said incident of what she said he done to her. Okay. And apparently she is alleging that this attorney had threw in some things that were not true. Hey, Donisha, how are you, love? So soon after, she also was contacted by a music producer known as Rob Holiday, allegedly calling for basically wanting her to be quiet and not talk. And she looked at this as some form of way to silence her. And a couple months later, she had began to do a $10 million lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. Hey, Yolanda. So she also had emphasized under oath that her goal is to get justice, not payment, and that she filed the civil suit before learning about Ventura filing her civil suit. So and this is one of the witnesses that for sure has made it really clear. I don't really care about the money as much. I want justice. And that is something that has been lacking in many of the witnesses prior to her, is that many of them, they were focusing on getting a payback, whether it be them losing a job or, no longer being a part of the enterprise anymore. With her, it's not that at all, which is a one up for the prosecution. Hey, Layla. So when it comes down to the timeline of events of what she says occurs, so early 2016, where she says that she had received some form of a beach threat during a photo shoot with Ventura. Well, Combs had approached her and said, "I'm the devil and I could kill you." You know, when I'm getting into these statements of Sean Diddy Combs during this trial, Diddy, where do you pull these? I've seen you say I've seen statements of you saying that you would eat someone's face. I've seen statements in lawsuits where you said and threatened that you would kill your own mother. I've seen where you said that you would bite someone. Like, is it the drugs that make you want to partake into people and kill them and eat them and all the threats that has been coming out of this trial and the lawsuits are kind of bizarre, but it also lets me know that it is drug driven. There are certain things that will only come out of your mouth if you are high. Okay. I.e., I will eat your face. That is something that you have to be out of your mind to threaten someone with. How was that Diddy even making music with all this going on? Well, keep in mind, he's the CEO, he's the boss. So while many people think that the bosses work a lot, they don't. They actually have people that's doing it for them. So they have more free time than what you think, what many people do believe. They're the visionary behind it all. And then they have workers under them. So he has plenty of time. Now, so she says that she was terrified, but she did brush it off due to her being high on cocaine. So then in September of 2016, there was a balcony incident, and Combs had banged on Ventura's apartment door late at night while this friend that's on the witness stand, she had hid there with her ex-friend, okay, in the bathroom and stepped out on the balcony. So Combs had came up behind her, lifted her by her chest and her armpits, basically like how you lift a baby up, like that, okay, by her armpits and dangled her over the balcony. This was about 17 stories high, and he began to shout, "Do you know what the F you did?" to her. So after about 15 seconds, he threw her onto the balcony furniture, basically letting her go. Now, she says that, and she testified that she did have bruises on her body, on her neck, her back, as well as she had to see a chiropractor due to this. She also says that the injuries were photographed by her ex-girlfriend. Okay? She experienced nightmares, paranoia, and would scream in her sleep after this incident. Now, when it comes to post this whole assault situation, which was about a day or two later, Combs or someone from his team had FaceTimed her. He reportedly said little, but looked very distressed. He was breathing heavily, and as well as he had his hands over his head. He's a monster for sure. And she recalled saying, "I don't want any problems with you," when she seen him on the FaceTime. So there was some other alleged incidents that occurred as well, where there was a knife attack that happened. Well, Combs had allegedly threw a knife at Ventura during another late night visit, and Ventura had threw it back. And this friend says that she did not call the police at all. There was a tracking incident that occurred as well, where Combs has sent Ventura a list of locations that she and this witness had to visit. So despite not being told their whereabouts, it was suggested that they were under high surveillance at that time. In 2016, there was a black eye incident when Ventura had showed this woman a black eye, and she showed her this over a FaceTime call. at a before a movie premiere in which Cassie was attending. And then you had the blind dragon fight, where this woman says that she witnessed a birthday argument between Ventura and Combs, and Ventura had packed a bag and left. Okay. Now, then you also have the New Year's Eve 2018, which is this final contact that she had with him, where she spent 8 hours using ketamine with Combs and Ventura in Miami. And she says that she left and she vowed to sober up, and she tattooed the date on her neck that she chose to stop using drugs. She has remained sober since then. Okay. So no more drugs. So what's different about this witness is she is very hard on wanting justice. That's the first thing. She is a victim of Diddy herself. Okay. And she also showed no interest of going back. You know, previous witnesses have said that they were, they wanted to get back into working with Diddy. Some of them even continue to have conversations with him after they said that the environment was so toxic and dangerous and that Diddy was so demanding. This is one that has a very different outcome. When she stopped dealing with him and in Cassie, she stopped dealing with him in Cassie. There was no going back. Yeah, a lot of them went back. She meant business, Layla. So her response to this is definitely a victim, because now don't get me wrong, victims do go back, but for her not really hard on for the money, not showing interest of having this fandom over Diddy and his power, but also setting goals for herself to tattoo a date that she's going to be done doing drugs, because that's what kept their relationship together. It was the drugs. Sometimes when it comes to people, it's not so much the person that keeps them around, it's the things and the activities in which they do together. With this situation, it was the drugs. So she instantaneously knew that she had to stop doing, in order for her to leave them alone, she had to stop doing drugs, you know? So this is a totally different outcome than the rest of the witnesses in which we've heard. Now, in her testimony, it does support the RICO by showing the violent nature of Diddy, the coercive nature of Diddy, okay? And this is someone that is outside of Cassie Ventura. She's a direct victim. And then it also describes the systematic control that is done through fear, surveillance, and the drug culture, which adds a whole different level to Cassie Ventura's testimony. And it also corroborates the patterns of abuse, threats, and manipulation in which Cassie had endured. It did confirm the trauma that had caused a long-lasting psychological and physical effect on her. So this adds that to that whole RICO thing strongly. Out of all the testimonies in which I have covered and I've been watching, this one is stronger than the rest. Now, the woman that was before her, Mia, I must say, Mia is a little sticky, okay? Mia has already been mentioned in Weinstein, R. Kelly, like they're mentioning her name with a lot of different people. Many people do believe that Mia's stuff is all a lie and it's not even real. I must be honest, okay? And as I was listening and reading through her testimony, there was so many inconsistencies in her testimony. She went back too much. Mia went and she was into the fandom. She was really for the fandom. She was infatuated with Diddy. Okay? She said that Diddy had done something inappropriate to her, but at the same time called her his something. I can't remember what exactly she called him, and that he saved her life and he was her hero or something like that. Yeah, Mia is a little cuckoo. She's a little cuckoo. She said that she had a dream that she was in. When I listened to this, I couldn't do anything, and it was crazy because I'm like, what? She said she had a dream, guys, that she was being chased by R. Kelly and P. Diddy saved her. It was at that point that I said, yeah, you, ma'am, I don't know if you high on this stand or who paid you to do this because that was a little theatrical, okay? Being chased by R. Kelly but protected by Sean Diddy Combs is a whole nother different. That's a whole nother different scenario. That's a nightmare within itself. And she basically said, "You saved me." And as I was reading it, and it was funny because y'all, as I was reading the dream part of her statement, and she says, "I had a dream that you that I was being chased by R. Kelly, and you saved me. You saved me." Because y'all know R. Kelly made a song like that. And so when I read that part, my brain instantly begins to sing his song. And I'm like, "Ma'am, what? Who paid you to get up here?" The drugs took over. Yeah, I must say, out of all the testimonies, hers is a little iffy. Okay, hers is a little strange and a little, And the defense asked her, "How do you say that he SA'd you, but you call him your protector and he saved your life? Why is that?" She said, "I don't know. Ask my therapist." What, ma'am? What are you talking about? Like, you literally, it's so you can tell that the difference between Mia and this woman here. This woman here, she's definitely 100%. You cannot question her being a victim. This other girl, she gave so many different, she swayed back and forth to where it became more so of a, it looked very skit like. It began to sound very like she was in a skit and she had a storyline that she was pushing. That's what it begins to sound like for me, for her testimony. So her testimony did add to the defense side because of so many questionable things that occurred. Now, as of right now, the cross examination, when it came down to this friend of Cassie, in the cross examination, they did say that there was some discrepancies with the initial reports that suggested that this woman did not initially tell prosecutors that Combs said, "I'll kill you." So they claimed that she had first said that it occurred at a party, not a beach photo shoot. She responded to this saying that she could not remember when she disclosed certain details. So the demand letters and lawsuit inconsistencies. So they did note that the first demand letter had inaccurately stated that Combs had made the kill threat while holding her over the balcony. While she says that those were not her words. That was the part that she fired Tony Blackburn for because that statement wasn't true. Then you have the details omitted in the earlier statements. So they say that she didn't initially tell prosecutors about Combs banging on the door and her ex girlfriend hiding in the bathroom. So she says again that she didn't remember. The groping allegations. So the defense also claimed that she had originally reported Combs had groped her on a balcony. And she clarified that she had described where his hands were, where he picked her up under her arms and grabbing her chest. So basically taking this as a grope. Now also the second demand letter where they claim that it's alleged that Combs had bruised her breast area. She says that she didn't remember what the second letter had stated. Then the drug history. So they did bring up that she did have some heavy drug use and her own acknowledgement that she and Ventura had a serious drug problem. She did admit that. She says, "Yes, we had a problem." So the continued contact with Ventura. So she did testify that she and Ventura had remained to have a sporadic contact after 2018. Ventura had allegedly had asked her to be included on the lawsuit, in which she had refused. They did question whether her $10 million lawsuit was a chance for her to, grab an opportunity. And she maintained that she did not expect to get any form of compensation for testifying and wanted justice for what happened to her. So she was offered immunity, of course, because remember, she was, selling drugs and partaking in drugs and all those different things. Now, so now we are, well, that's what he wanted to get them addicted to. Yeah. He got everybody around Diddy had to do drugs. Let's just be honest. Okay? It seems like everybody, they may start off being sober with no interest in ketamine and cocaine and whatever else, but some way whatsoever, they begin to partake. Remember, the assistant said that eventually he started to do drugs with Diddy. At first, his job was to set the drugs out, and then he began to partake in them. So it seems to me that everybody's over there just getting high, fornicating, and getting abused on and taking demands by the dealer every single day. Okay. That is what's going on over there. But I honestly believe at this point Diddy is finished. I just do. Now, do I think that he's gonna get the same amount of time as R. Kelly? No, absolutely not. I do not think that at all. I think that he's probably gonna get like a cute little 10 or 15, maybe get some taken off a little bit, but I don't think he's gonna get anything nowhere near as bad as R. Kelly. Now, and I did hear what Trump said that he will look into Diddy's whole situation. He hasn't really been, made aware of what's all included into Diddy's case, and they asked him on whether or not he would pardon Diddy, and he said he'll definitely look into it. He says he had no issue with Diddy. He said that he did hear at some point that Diddy had made some comments, but he said he's in a different seat right now, so he cannot do a personal decision in that nature by what Diddy has said. But apparently, he's saying he's going to look into it. The diddler is Diddy. Yes, he's Diddying for sure. Alrighty, big goers. If you haven't liked this video, please like this video. And if you are new here, please make sure that you do subscribe. You can catch me Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for new cases every single day. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Okay. I was gonna do the spin wheel today, but I chose that I'm gonna wait to do it for tomorrow, a Friday, guys. So that I can start off a fresh week with the new raffle versus just starting it in a midweek. Give everybody a fair run for everything. Okay. Now, Bigo, I am on my way to you. Okay. We're gonna be getting into DDG. Y'all was a little bit upset with me about my perception of DDG. In this whole Haley situation, a Holly situation, whatever you call her. They were a little bit upset with me on the Beagle side when it came to my perception. And it's because I believe in fairness and I believe in allowing, you know, a fair chance until I hear both sides. Because at the first point of it, the only person we heard from was Haley, and what she said that DDG had done to her. And now DDG has come out with a 90-page document in which I do have the full docs we're going to go over today. Um, and he says that she took his gun, and she also attempted to threaten to do something to herself. He said he was afraid of her, and he did show some images of cuts and scratches on his body. So we're going to get into that and see what the heck is going on over there. He did worse than R. Kelly, so he's definitely has to get life in prison. I doubt it. He doesn't he did worse than R. Kelly, but R. Kelly didn't have Diddy's power. At the end of the day, he's a very powerful man. At the end of the day, he has connections, more connections than what R. Kelly had, more money than what R. Kelly had. He has more payout options than R. Kelly would ever have. So I think he will get time, but because of who he is, I don't think he's going to do anything. He's not going to do a lot. When will KK be on the stand? Pops, that's the thing. We still have the defense coming up, guys. Right now, we're still in the prosecutions and their witnesses and stuff, the state witnesses or the federal witnesses. And then we got to go into the defense witnesses, and then we're going to do redirect. So I don't know if KK is going to come for the defense or how they're going to play it. I don't know. You got to keep in mind that KK was working with Diddy all the way up until his arrest. KK was also in the lawsuit for the producer, but she settled out. So, but by that, I don't know whose side she's going to be on. She's probably too recent to go against Diddy. She's probably already in his pockets for all we know. So I don't know whose side she's going to be coming on. I do know that we're almost through with this whole thing. I think we got about 2 or 3 more weeks left. So not sure when exactly. All right, give me 1 second, guys. One moment. One moment, please. Do, do, do. Okay. So I want to give you guys all of the witnesses that have come for me, everyone that testified so far. Okay, so you had Israel Flores, he's the security guard. You had Daniel Phillip, he is the male venue manager. Yasmin Binda, the Homeland Security investigator. Don Richard, Kerry Morgan, David James, one of Combs' former assistants. Of course, Cassie Ventura and her mother, Sheree Hayes, the male exotic dancer. Gerard Gannon, Don Hughes, George Kaplan, Kid Cudi, Morales, Frederick Zamora, Joshua Croft, Capricorn Clark, the police department, the fire department, Deontay Dash, a witness identified as Mia, which we just discussed, Sylvia Oken. She was the area director of sales. Eddie Garcia, who's the security officer for the Intercontinental. Derek Ferguson, the former head of finance. Frank Piazza, he's a forensic audio and video editor. And the woman that we just now discussed, Bryana. Okay. So those are all the people that has testified so far. And we'll be doing another Diddy update next week. Bigo, I am on my way to you. We're going to be covering all of the DDG docs for you guys can know exactly what's going on with DDG because it's getting a little messy. These kids done got themselves into something and we're left to kind of figure it out. So I'll see you guys. I had a question. Do you see the ones that say Michael Jackson's daughter testified? That's not true. That's AI. All of that is AI. I even seen it where they said Mary J. Blige testified. AI. So what people has been doing, they've been making fake accounts under like CNN, journalists who are actually in the courtroom, creating fake pages and then putting out fake AI stuff. So that's why when y'all was coming to me about this whole Prince audio, I never took it seriously because for one thing, we should have been able to pull a transcript from it, and we haven't even seen a transcript. Okay, and that's not real. They're doing a lot. That's not real at all. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in to True Crime with Savage RoyalT.